Is Earth just a pale blue dot in a huge hostile universe? Many years ago, Carl Sagan described Earth as a pale blue dot, especially when you see it from an image that was taken from Voyager, a probe that was sent out to the furthest regions of the solar system, turned around and took a picture of Earth in this vast hostile universe, just this tiny speck of a blue dot. And the observation he made was, look how meaningless and inconsequential we are, given this vast space. If we're the special creation of God, why would we look like such a meaningless pale blue dot in this vast hostile universe? Clearly, if God had designed this universe for us, we wouldn't appear to be lost in it, would we? That's an objection I think is worth considering, especially as we get better and better images from the furthest reaches of our solar system. It does appear that we are in this vast universe that seems largely hostile to life. In all the years we've been looking for life across the universe, we've seen nothing to indicate that there is any other life in the universe. Doesn't this really speak against the idea that God is the fine-tuner and designer that is designing this perfect place for humans to emerge? Well, I think there are two ways to look at that. If, in fact, the universe is as hostile as it appears to be, and the odds of life emerging in a universe such as ours are so slim, shouldn't we consider it miraculous that we exist at all? Couldn't you actually use that argument against itself? Because it seems to me if we are in this amazingly dangerous universe in which we shouldn't exist, yet we do, how is it we beat the odds? Is it possible we beat the odds because God placed us in just the right space, the right place, the right distance from the Earth, the right tilt, at the right rotation, the right gravitational forces, the right atmospheric conditions, the right crust depth, the right ocean environment, the right chemical basis? There's so many just so elements, just so factors to the existence of Earth. Couldn't it be that the only way those could ever be achieved is if somebody with power came in and overrode the impossible odds? Couldn't we look at the hostile universe as an evidence for God's design of our planet, given that it shouldn't be here at all? Let me give you another way to think about it on the basis of an analogy. Let's say we were walking in the desert together, and in this desert there are billions of rocks all over the floor, small rocks, of a certain kind. There's just millions of them. They're all over the place. And in this vast desert with all these thousands and billions of stones, we look down at the ground and we see one has, it looks like dried blood on it. And we pick it up, and sure enough, in very fine print, it says, "Help me, I'm locked up in a house about a mile from here," written in someone's blood. Do you think we should take that thing and just toss it back on the ground? It's nothing. I mean, there's a billion rocks here, but what are the odds? No. Or do you think on the basis of information on the rock that appears to be designed and written by a mind, do you think we ought to say, wow, I don't care how many rocks there are out here, the odds of this rock with information like this on it, we should take notice of this. I think the best inference here is that somebody wrote that on there, and we should go figure out who this is. Well, wouldn't you do that instead of just tossing it back to the ground and say, hey, there's no reason to examine that. There's a billion rocks in this desert. Well, isn't that the same thing that's happening with the Earth? We've got this hostile environment with allegedly billions of planets that might even be within a habitable zone, and people will say there could be life based on the raw number of planets in the universe. Well, there happens to be life on this one. And it's designed in such a way that it has the signs. The biology shows the appearance of design. Even Richard Dawkins, the famous evolutionary biologist who's an atheist, says that all of biology is the study of the things that look to have been designed for a purpose. Really? Okay, so we've got the message on the rock. We think that's valuable enough to go seek and see who wrote it. Shouldn't we be looking for the God that's responsible for the appearance of design on this planet in this vast hostile universe? Doesn't the fact that there is a pale blue dot that has life like ours on it cause us to want to find the author of life? And finally, let me just give it to you as an illustration. What if I said to you, I want you for my birthday, what I really want this year is I want a cupcake, chocolate frosted cupcake. It could say happy birthday on it, but I just want a cupcake, nothing big. As a matter of fact, I am on a diet, so can you just like make sure it's a small cupcake? Make it small, like 100 calories. Can you do that for me? Well, sure, I can. So you go and you bring in your cupcake mix. Oh, no. I want you to make it for me from scratch. And you're like, oh, that's harder. So you go and get a bag of flour and some sugar. No. I mean, I want you to make it for me from scratch. I don't want you to get flour. I want you to go out and grow the wheat and then turn it into flour. I don't want you to bring back a bag of sugar. I want you to grow the sugar cane and then get that sugar granulated and bring it back. I want you to take vanilla. I need you to grow that. Well, it turns out now, if you're going to do it that way, you're going to have to take a bunch of land over here and grow your wheat and some land over there for your sugar cane. And then when it all comes to harvest time, you're going to have to chop it all down, make a mess and bring it in and grind it all up. And now you got a mess in the kitchen. And now you have this huge mess all over the place and you've had to break and destroy a bunch of stuff. And in the end, after a long period of time doing this, you end up with this little cupcake that's so nice and perfect. Meanwhile, you look around and like this huge area is all messed up with a bunch of broken stuff and it took a long time to get here. Okay, are you going to deny that this cupcake was designed based on the fact that all that stuff had to be broken over a long period of time to get here? Or is there something about this cupcake that screams design, even if the environment around us now is a mess and it took a long time to get here? We might be in a universe that seems kind of messy and hostile. Why would God have to take up all that space? And why would he take all that time just to design this little bitty planet we call Earth? Well, look, all that took a long time and a lot of destruction to design that little cupcake, and that still screams design. All of that mess and all that time that was required, you had to do that to get from scratch to here. How do we know what physical processes God uses to get from scratch to here? The same reason why you would not deny the design that's inherent in the cupcake, you ought not deny the design that is inherent in Earth. The fact that there might be a big space that's hostile, that appears to be broken or messy or whatever, or it's deteriorating over a process of entropy, it's just part of the process that God uses to design the cupcake we call Earth.